What's up, guys? Welcome back to another patch video. This week there's not a whole lot going on, but I'll go over it nonetheless, and then I will take a look at the new trap. So, this week the Mage is available for free, and if you get it up to level 15, you get discounts on it like every week. So that's pretty good for people who don't have that hero yet. So we'll just jump right into the balancing. The new trap is going to be an acid cannon. I'll get into that in a little bit when I go over it. So we'll get into balancing here. The Mage, after last week's nerf, we decided to reduce Vortex Rift cooldown to mitigate the loss of DPS. Vortex Rift's cooldown has been reduced from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. I'm still, I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is the right way of balancing Vortex. I think they should just have given damage back to it. I don't think it needed to be completely removed, but that's just the way that they're doing it, so that's kind of where it's at. I'm still using Vortex on my Mage. I think the stun is pretty nice, and I guess they're making it more of a utility spell. It does synergize with a lot of Mage's abilities, but not really enough, I don't know. They could do something if the Mage does get a little bit too weak. They could do something like increase the width of Fireball slightly or something would help out a little bit. Because that's really the only skill that you're using with Vortex. I mean, the other ones are okay, like Thunderclap, I think it is, and there's like Conflagration or something like that. Can work okay with it as well. But for the most part, those Thunderclap's pretty good. Conflagration or whatever it's called is a little bit too low damage, I think, to use. But either way, that's what they're doing with that. I'm not a huge fan of the way that they're doing this, but I don't know exactly what I would do. I mean, you could just give them back the damage, but I guess a cooldown reduction is fine. It just helps them stun for a while. Like the stun lasts about 2 seconds, I think, roughly. So when you're talking about a 9-second cooldown, there's basically like a 5-second uptime for creatures, and then you can use your shield in between that and try to like mitigate damage through that. It seems like it's taking mages probably longer to get through castles, but it's about the same difficulty. I don't know. I haven't gotten to play a ton, so I might be pretty far off of where the mage is standing right now, but that's that. Another buff for the runaway. I'm feeling like this class might be starting to like it's already playable. If you have gear and you've been playing it for a while, it's already very playable. And the fact that they're getting buffs literally every patch for a while now, and I've been overlooking them for, a long time, but for the past 2 patches, I'm realizing they've been buffed so much that it's probably getting to a point where the runaway is in contention and not maybe even above certain other heroes. Like it could easily be right behind the mage as like one of those first top tier heroes right now. I don't play her all that much, and I don't see many people play her in my castle, but the people who I do see go through my castle seem to have a fairly easy time, as long as they're playing well and constantly shielding themselves. The shields on the runaway is ridiculous. It's very high on the shielding, so this is probably the biggest change here for this patch. The maximum number of totems are now up to 4. I don't know why they said pass from 2 to 4. I'm guessing though that they meant that you can have 4 totems now. And the hit points again have been increased by 50%. The hit points on totems is actually getting to be substantial. Like it's hard to actually take those things out, so you can't really forward kite anymore, which is really good. And because of this, I'm thinking that I might try to rebuild my condensed castle. Obviously change it up a little bit. I had a few ideas of what I wanted to do, but I'm thinking that what I actually want to test, because I'm not 100% sure on exactly how this works, is if you kill the creatures around a totem, but you leave the totem standing, can you get through the boss room? Can you get through the treasure room, rather? So, like, do you actually have to kill the totems? I'm not 100% sure on that. If you do have to kill the totems, I feel like a really condensed castle with a ton of traps, and just having to be able to kill that totem that has who knows how much hit points now, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, I don't even know. And it seems to have some like resistances as well, because you don't deal a ton of damage to it even when you crit. So it takes quite a few shots to actually take it out. Even if you land like all 4 bear traps on top of a totem, it still doesn't die in one shot. It doesn't even really take it down to half health. So I like this change a lot, though. I'm really happy with the totems. I think that their AI needs to be improved a lot, though. I don't even know if I'll use 4 in my castles, just because it screws up the AI so much sometimes. Like, it's not all the time, but there's so many bugs with the AI right now with totems that, like, sometimes it seems like I randomly get network errors. I don't know if anyone's experienced this, but it seems to always happen. I get a network error, and then I click OK, and it lets me continue through the castle, but every creature after that runs away from me, and I can't get them to attack me. Like, they just will run away, and they just won't fight. And it's really weird. It always seems to happen after I kill a totem or go through a totem group, and then I get a network error, and then everything besides that totem group won't attack me. And it's really weird. So there's some weird bugs with that. I'm hoping they fix those, because I'm not sure if totems are even worth it with those bugs still in the game. Materials for a limited time. We've increased the drop rate on materials by over 60%. This, I mean, I guess this is good. I haven't noticed this though. I don't know exactly what they mean. Do they mean that there's going to be 60% more materials, or do they mean that the drop rate for like legendaries and epics is 60% higher? You know, I don't know if you're getting more of them, which would be better, or if you're getting higher quality ones, which is actually quite a bit worse for this week's limited time creature, which we'll get into in a second. There's one of these in here. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Barricades and mines should have a decent amount of health. This should have been put into balancing because this is a balancing issue. I don't know exactly how much health they gained or anything like that. They didn't really say, but they said a decent amount. So hopefully not one shot anymore. From what I've noticed in playing this a little bit, that is the case where my ballista is two-shotting barricades instead of one-shotting them, even on like the 2x2 instead of, or 2x1 I guess it is, instead of the 3x1. So that's okay. And I think that's pretty much it for this patch, except for the new creature. So we'll jump into its specific thing, the wanted acid cannon here. So this is my problem with this this trap, is I can't get cogs for anything. Like, I have a better time getting epic material love than I do cogs. It's really the most difficult material for me to get. I don't know why, but I just cannot find this material for nothing. I know that this is one of the ones that's affected by having loot find gear, and if you have too much of it, I think it completely takes it out of the loot table, so you can't find it with like 30% loot find gear, or I don't know what the actual threshold is. So generally I try to take off my loot find gear, but a lot of like the top tier archer things, like Bogart's cape and stuff, has loot find attached to it. It's one of the stats on it, so it's like I have to take off some of my main gear just to be able to try to find cursed cogs when I'm looking for them. I've been trying really hard to actually get up to 20 cogs because I only have, I think it's 9 or 10 right now, and I wasn't able to get enough before I did this video, so I had to go through and find somebody else's castle that has this trap in it so that I can test it for you guys and show it off a little bit. Because I currently don't have one. I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 before it ends, but I don't even know if I'll be able to do that because I don't have a whole lot of time to play this week. I'll try to get at least 1 though, because I want to have 1 of every trap if I can. So yeah, I'm having trouble with cogs. The other 2 aren't too difficult, for at least me. I don't know how other people feel about those, but I haven't really noticed this drop rate. I started with 7, and I farmed for a couple of hours, and I only got like 3 cogs. So, and one of them dropped from a tombstone, which is one of the easier ways to get cogs, and is actually kind of the reason why you'll notice that I dropped a lot of my crowns, is because I actually dumped crowns because I wanted to have an easier time farming castles quicker. So because I was trying to rush out 20 of these cogs, and because I wanted lower level people to find my castle in matchmaking and be able to get more tombstones. Like, that's one of the good things about dumping crowns. A lot of people, you'll notice, do it, and there's like the 0 crown club and stuff like that. It does help with certain things like that. Because it's all based on matchmaking, basically, and that's the crown system in a nutshell. It's the matchmaking system. So let's turn this off and get into this castle. I don't have any potions left, and I've already died in this castle. This is B-Man Z's castle. He commented on my castle, letting me know that he put one of these in his castle. I don't know if he wanted me to do a viewer castle on it, or if he just wanted me to let him know, but I died twice, so it's a pretty good castle if you're watching this video. I like it quite a bit. I might rerun it again at some point, and take another look at what's actually going on inside of it, because it's pretty late here, so I'm pretty tired. But So this is the trap in question. It leaves this acidic thing on the ground. It seems like for about 3 or 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 5 or 6 seconds, I guess. It's a fairly slow attacking ballista trap, basically, and I don't think it quite deals the same amount of damage as a ballista. I would like to check that though. So this is a new ballista, and it deals 150. Let's get one more tick of it. 150 roughly damage from that. Let's see how much this one takes. This one actually took 180, so it's actually higher. It seems to be. I thought it was lower until you got the debuff on you, but then it ticks afterwards. So you can't really compare this ballista trap to this ballista trap, though. You have to compare the old one to the old one to this one, because the old ballista trap has more damage but attacks slower, and I'm pretty sure it's based off the old one because I think this guy has a slower attack speed than the new one. So let's just actually double check that. So I'm going to try to get this and see which one attacks first. Yeah, you can see this one has a lot higher attack speed than the old one, than the most wanted version. So it's based off of the other one, the old. I keep saying this. It's the what do you call it? Chickenpox version of the ballista trap. Basically, it's modeled after that, based on the attack speed and the damage. So you kind of have to think about that when you're going into this. I think the old one does roughly the same amount of damage. The chickenpox version of the ballista does roughly 180, maybe it's upwards of 200. But it doesn't tick, and it doesn't do the armor reduction. I think they have roughly the same projectile speed. This one might be slightly slower, but it seems like they're probably about the same. And then it just leaves this on the floor. One thing to note is that they don't stack, so if you have two of them next to each other, and they both land on top of you, you're only going to tick one time, I believe. I could just double check that, but I'll probably die before I am able to. I don't know, it's hard to check that because I'm surrounded by a bunch of other traps as well. It's a pretty good trap though. It's nothing too crazy, but for 3 points, it's worth using in conjunction with other things, especially because you're going to get that debuff on you. Am I going to die if I take one tick? Alright, so you get this debuff on you. I don't think it lasts quite as long as the corrosive mine buff. I don't know if there's any corrosive mines that I could get triggered. I probably triggered most of them. I'll end up dying here, that's fine though. Let me just heal back up. I'm looking for a corrosive mine specifically because I wanted to see if it's the same exact debuff, but I don't think I can find one. So I'm not 100% sure. This one does 25% armor reduction. It's probably the same, if I had to guess. It's the same icon, so it's worth using this. You don't want to stack these and use nothing but these, but to use them in conjunction with it, I'm thinking of like mouse wheel rooms with all of those ballistas. Having one on each side is probably pretty good. This should work the same way and actually be lowering your magic resist and your armor, even though it just says armor, but I would have to test it when I actually get one in my castle. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and finish off this castle and then finish off the video. So I think that's pretty much it. It's a pretty good trap if you can afford the cursed cog cost, but yeah. Pretty much it for this one, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.